Welcome everybody back to boostinmotion, guys, and today we're gonna find out everything wrong or right with the C63. So welcome back everybody. So I'm at my good old shop, All Out Motorworks in Long Island, and I'm getting some work done on the car. You've probably seen it in the previous video. It all depends on what the upload schedule is, but I wanted to bring the car to put it on a lift to see if there's any issues or problems with the C63. I don't really know if there's any, but we're gonna try our best to take a look at everything that we can, just visually, and maybe even plug in a console to see if there's any problems with any DTC codes. But anyways, let's jump into it. So now that I finally got to the underbody carriage of the car, we get to see the design of the AMG exhaust. Number one, the tips are fake. That's how it's always been. The tips are fake, okay? It's just there for the aesthetic looks. But also looking a little deeper, we're looking at see if there's any crazy amount of rust, dents, repaints, anything like that. That would be an issue. Now, looking at this exhaust, I don't see the exhaust being controlled by an exhaust flap. Usually, I have the active sport exhaust, so it would change the flaps back and forth, and that's what actually changes the pitch and noises of the exhaust with the V8s and everything. Looking, I don't see anything crazy. I also installed those mud flaps. Maybe I should make those corrections now, but nah, I'm not, you guys know I'm a bit lazy. Alright, so we're also looking to see if there's anything dry, cracking, or anything like that. It's like the rear sub mount. It's not active, but this is just flakes itself. I don't see any cracks or anything like that. Yeah, this is just flakes. We want to see if there's any extreme damage or anything where something might need to be replaced or worn out. Now, this seems like it has some kind of lithium grease spray or something that was on it. I guess they lubed this part up. This is a plastic piece, so maybe that might be able to come off. Might ask them to see if they can spray some on it, but that's weird. Now we have the AMG diff cooler. Pretty much what happens is the air comes across these little galleries, and it actually cools the diff itself. Because I have the C63 and not the S, it's not electronically controlled. So it's just a regular LSD in here, LSD rather than electrically controlled ones. All right, so now we're looking at the exhaust itself. This is about 2.5 inch of pipe. Okay. It's so cool to see they put like a undershroud for a lot of like, suspension components. They put plastics under it. See, it's plastic under here. There's plastic under, I think that's the traction arm or the tow arm right here. It's plastic under that too. Okay, let's continue to look. All right, taking a look here. Let me see if I can throw the light on. All right, taking a look at the differential. A little rusty. This isn't really anything crazy bad, guys. Don't overthink this. Axle boots look good. I don't see any crazy problem with them. Right? I don't see no grease because we're really looking for like grease and leaks or anything like that. This is their bearing. Okay, doesn't look like it's worn out or cracked. This should be the U joint, the carrier bearing, I would assume, for this car. Maybe not, but it does bolt up right from the drive shaft itself, and its drive shaft is aluminum, and it sounds hollow, so it sounds like a hollow aluminum, so it's not carbon fiber. Okay, all right, once again, there's more shroud. This is all for airflow. There's a brace right here. The exhaust here is actually bent a specific way, so it doesn't keep the whole 2.5 inch exhaust, like bend it up, I guess. And there's also a little hanger here to keep the exhaust from banging against here. Okay, cool. All right, now we're at the H-pipe design. Once again, it looks a little bit different, but there's also a sensor here, and this sensor is what controls the exhaust flow, or those snap, crackles, and pops. So it changes up the pitch and the exhaust sound. So an AMG does a really good job of doing this. But at least I know where this is at. I could also just unplug it and just leave it open. I'm not going to mess with any of that stuff. I did look into They make aftermarket modules to plug this in to have the flap open up a little bit more, because the flap only opens up about 70%, and that's it. But they make an aftermarket module which you can keep it at 100% open and you can control it a lot better. But it's like $400 for like 30% more noise. Well, a little bit more noise. I'd rather not. You guys know Boost is not really on a budget, but Boost ain't spending money just for noise. He wants the performance. Now, taking a look at other stuff, you would have the engine strut and everything right here, but because I'm getting an oil change done and another modification that surprised me getting done in the car, but we'll talk about that a little later. We're almost there. Okay, so this is where the transmission bolts up to the drive shaft itself. All right, I don't see anything crazy, anything standing out over here. All right, now this is where some of the secrets and stuff popped up, which made me pretty much laugh. So this is from right here would be my catalytic converter. Going all the way up, we see crushed bent pipe, because somebody, the last owner, which I did not know, did the secondary cat delete already on this car. This is probably why this car sounds so good, so freaking good. But the welds are completely shit. This is not All Out Motorworks welds. This is what came on the car already, right? That might be a little bit of an exhaust leak right here, because you can see the felt, or maybe that's some water that might be dripping, but there might be a small exhaust leak there. But this car is controlled with the oxygen sensors on the secondary cat, so I don't have to worry about that. All right, now that's the engine mount. The difference between the C63 and the 63S is on the 63S, the engine mounts are also electronically controlled, which means more expensive. I didn't go with that because I ain't got the money for an S. But also on top of that, the regular mounts are a lot cheaper to replace and aren't controlled by the engine. All right, I can see the alternator back there. I don't see any leaks. For some of the people who want to sit there and look and see how hard it is to install downpipes, take a look. It's all the way up there. That's the upper cat. If you want to go catless, they would have just cut it here and just try to bring the cat up that way. There would be no way to bring that huge cat down this way. All right, taking a look at this side. The exhaust flow looks super weird. Ooh, that's hot, because that is engine oil dripping out. I'm a fool for that. Yeah, the oil cap would have been here and placed onto there. All right, I don't really see anything else crazy standing out. Looked at all the suspension components. We're probably gonna try to see if we can do just an alignment check, because I do have some wear on the inner edge. I've already talked about this in a previous video. So we're gonna take a look, maybe see if there's any problems with any of the suspension components. Maybe the 45,000 miles I have on it is just too much. Their sway bar isn't as much thicker than our sway bar on the Q50, Q60 platform. All right, taking a look. You know, the car doesn't look that much more crazy. Like, I can do still a lot of basic stuff on this car. This is their stabilizer link, I would assume, because it connects to the sway bar. That's their shock lower mount. This is their tie rod ends. Their rack, their steering rack is right at the front, and they have this X bar here. I guess this adds rigidity, but it could also add protection to make sure you don't damage this area, which is pretty cool. All right, the BBK. Okay, I don't really see anything too much. Nothing really crazy to really like that stands out to me. Like, oh my god, that looks so dope. Okay, here it's just kind of cool. This is probably an engine oil cooler. If you take a look, it's an engine oil cooler that's right to the bottom part of it. We're so used to putting the heat exchanger like this across, because this is the heat exchangers. 1, 2, 3 across like that. But we forget we can also put it parallel to the ground just like this, which is pretty dope. Kind of gives me an idea on where we could also try our best to fit it in. But there's probably a brace and everything like that under here. And plus, at the end of the day, you never know what could get scuffed up in here. If there's ever an accident, all that stuff has to be replaced. Now, here's what I found out about the car I really don't like, because I finally got to really take a look at it. Look at that. Overspray marks. Overspray marks. So the last person probably took off the front bumper or whatever. Looked like they probably did it on the car, to be honest, because you got overspray. They probably did a terrible freaking job. This part was white, and they wanted to make it black, but they wanted to keep the gray part. So what they did is they probably took this off, spray painted this black, or didn't take it off the bumper off at all. And look how crappy that is. Yeah, that's crappy. Those little white marks are all air pockets, probably from whatever spray paint they use. Look, see? So I'm not gonna lie with you guys, I don't like that. My cars are usually clean, and this isn't clean enough. I did see this when I first got with the car, but it wasn't really that bad. I was more euphoric about how the car performed, sounded. Didn't have any check engine lights or anything like that. But probably gonna see if I can try to just get this painted, because this is detachable. I could take this part off, and this part can just repaint it itself completely. Just repaint this. I want this silver part repainted too, and this lower part of the grill. And I want to keep it with more of the C63 look. So no more silver, and this is going to be repainted. So we'll see what we can do in the future. But anyways, let's see if they have a console so we can take a look. And also the star is dry. Look how dry the star is. But we're going to try to look and plug in a console into the car to see if there's any issues with it, with any DTCs or anything that might need to be changed or worked on with the car. Guys, so part of some of the things I want to get checked out on the car is he has a what is it called, a console, Autel. This pretty much takes a look at all the sensors, every sensor that works in these cars, to double check and make sure everything is all right. So if you guys can take a look, it's pretty much going through all the DTCs and seeing what's passing or what's failing, or if there's any fault codes. So right now we're doing pretty good.
So maybe the battery was dead at one point.
The what was what?
The battery was dead at one point.
The battery was dead?
So that's why I have like electronic faults, but they're all storage.
Okay.
So they are not right now. So if I reset it, everything is gonna be good.
Okay, so you're just gonna reset some of the fault codes. There was one for the ECM combustion. Might have been a small misfire, maybe?
No, it was like it lost communication with the battery.
Okay, so lost communication with the battery. Okay.
And that's it. Then.
And then the sunroof is because it was open, and that's really it. Everything else should be okay.
That's it.
And there's no check engine lights that would have came up here too, or no?
No, there's not. That's
Yeah.
it.
So the car is pretty much good. All right, guys. So we have a good running. Woo! Woo! All right, guys. So we got to take a look at all the stuff on the car to do a good, proper inspection to see if there's any issues with the car. You got to see that we got to scan the car. The battery might have died at one period at one time. That's why we had one or two, not really fault codes. You don't want to say the check engine lights, but that's probably why we had that. But he cleared it, and it didn't pop up again, so the battery might have died in the past. But knowing where this car is sitting right now, it seems like this car should be A-OK and ready to take on the world. So we're going to see what happens in the future. But definitely check out All Out Motorworks in Long Island, with working with now the C63 for the Mercedes. And you guys know I still got the Q60, so we're going to start really making a lot of content. We got to get out here and just start, you know, dragging some BMWs, if you know what I mean, and grabbing some Hellcats out here in the Q60. So once again, I appreciate you guys so much. Add me at boostinmotion on IG, Facebook, and boostinmotion@gmail.com. Otherwise than that, guys, appreciate it. You have a good day. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Do appreciate you guys. Love you guys very much. You can also check out the 2 links I posted for some of my other videos. Also, on top of that, if you want to purchase some Boost in Motion merch, definitely check the link that I posted also. And finally, if you've been watching all my videos and you enjoy them, please hit the link to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.